Okay, guys, let's have a look through what I've got here. I've chosen to do the organisation Subway. Now, the first mistake people are making a little bit is to think that the information you want is general business information. I don't really care all that much about the business. What I care about and what I want you to care about is the human resource element of the business. How does the business manage people, and what are the challenges they've got with that, and what recommendations can you make, or what do they do really well and what recommendations can you make for them to build on that? Okay, so we talk about here needing some primary and secondary sources. I'm going to put this document up, but you can have a look at this. So I've talked with a staff member who works at Subway, right? I'm a customer of Subway, and there's a site here, Indeed.com, that does a lot of reviews. You may find, have some of you guys found that site as well? Okay, this is a great source of primary data that you can use, like little statements from these people as they go. Very, very nice, right? So I've put one in there. Subway's a good job, but not if you need to go to school. They're not very flexible, and the pay could be more competitive. So I've chosen, but you can choose a few quotes that go with that. Secondary source, right, there's quite a bit. So the first thing I'd be doing is I did a search on Subway and human resource management to see if there's enough articles for me. And there's some nice information there. Right? And so there's a couple of secondary sources there. So the first part of it is I've got to come up with some issues. And like one of the ways that we do, it's kind of cliche, but we do it a lot, is the SWOT analysis. Now, I am not doing a SWOT for the business, right? Because I don't care about the business. Right? I'm heartless like that. What I care about is the human resource management in the business. So we have to be focused on this. There are probably going to be some people who are going to tell me lots of really beautiful things about the business, and they're going to get a bad mark because I don't care. I care about the human resource management. You don't have a lot of time to do this. You've got 3 to 5 minutes year 11s, you've got 5 to 7 year 12s. That's not a huge amount of time, although it is a multimodal presentation, so you can add some supporting material with it, right? A little booklet handout or something like that, so you can go into more depth there. So some of the strengths, right, that I've looked for from my sources, and I haven't referenced all of these. A good SWOT would reference these, right? First of all, it's a well-known brand that people look for when they're looking for work, so that's pretty good. The franchise system seems to work well. There's a very large number of franchises worldwide. I say 18, 20,000. There's more Subways, as I understand, than there are McDonald's stores. Okay, but of course McDonald's stores are bigger. Weaknesses, right? One specific one that I've come across, and you guys may have come across this. I think Josie talked about it last year. At clean-up time, they're paid like half an hour to clean up the store, right? But if sometimes it takes more than that, and so that's a real problem. That's not something people find a nice thing. Often they're working alone or in small numbers, so you don't have the same ability, I think, to generate a team environment that you might have, in a McDonald's or even here at school. Very difficult to manage so many staff with individual stores around the store. Staff turnover is high, up to 80%, so I've referenced that, and I think you should be referencing some of the things in the SWOT analysis. Staff turnover is something that human resource managers look at to say, are people happy about working here? And they want to try and keep that as low as possible. You don't want to be training people and them leaving all the time. So 80% is high. McDonald's, on the other hand, has a staff turnover of somewhere around 20%. Okay, and that's really good. Opportunities. There seems to be very little chance for staff to have say in how Subways like run and innovate and stuff like that. And that could be a big thing. Particularly one of the threats is that Subway's often been branded themselves as being healthy. But now, perhaps healthy is more organic. Ray's Organic, just up the road here, have their little cafe and stuff like that. Is Subway really the cutting edge of health anymore? Other fast food chains, especially McDonald's, have more sophisticated human resource management structure. Okay, they're likely to retain the better staff, find and retain them. So you're competing with staff there. And engaged staff could become a source of competitive change, right? If the staff wanted to work at Subways, wanted to stay longer, they thought there was more in it for them, that could really change some things for the business. And then we go on to some issues that come out of this, right? And I'd want to justify this. This is probably maybe C+ level work here. You want to be explaining this a little bit better. You don't want just dot points, but here they are. Right? There seems to be a lack of sense of team at the moment. Very little product innovation from the staff. Right? Subways has been making those sandwiches for a long time now. Right? It's okay to throw beetroot in there and think that you're the smartest kid in class, but the reality is they haven't changed much for a long time. Some staff are not being paid, compensated correctly. So that's a real human resource issue. There's not a great deal of career advancement. In McDonald's, in a bigger organisation, by the time you're a store manager, that kind of matters. But really, any role you've got in the local Subway store, there's a fair bit of the sandwich artist about it. Right? There's not that career that goes with it. And there's very little evidence of reward for staff. So that might mean, there's no bonus payment system. There doesn't seem to be any way of acknowledging really outstanding work, something like that. So that, to me, would be a pretty good analysis of the human resource situation and the human resource issues at about a C plus level. Okay, to get it higher, you want to go into a little bit more depth, show some more references, think of a few more issues, right? So, what do you guys think about that as that's the second criteria, looking and delving into issues? Anyone got any questions about that at this stage?